Hello and welcome to the final burning questions for 2023. My name is Lachlan Mitchell. I'm making my debut in the absence of Tim O'Connor. It's a very, very special burning question series because I've got the young guns who will be featuring in the young Garrards Horse and Hound Young Guns series on New Year's Eve at Melton Entertainment Park. Plenty to see there. We'll start with you, Shannon. How have your sort of year been and things like that? You picked up a Trotters Cup in Cobram as well, so you must be on a pretty high end to the year.
Yeah, no, it's been an interesting year. I spent a bit of time also in New Zealand working over there, so that was pretty awesome. The year's ended probably in not a way I expected, but it's not a bad thing. So it's been a good year so far. Yeah,
we might jump over to you, Ryan. You've probably had the least eventful year of anyone, I suppose, over to France and driving over there in Vincennes. I know sort of the time has sort of been, and it's been well documented, I suppose, on the site, as well as you did a great video with Ryan Phelan last week. What did you get a chance to have a look around France, go to the Eiffel Tower, try some escargots and things like that while you're over there?
Yeah, no, I had a bit of time to sightsee, so it was good. I'd be at the stables in the morning. If we didn't go to the races, we'd go have a look around Paris. So it was good.
Fantastic. And Jack, we might bring you in as well here. How's your year been? How's everything been so far?
I can't complain. Things have gone well, just the same as the last couple of years. Can't complain.
And you, Cody, you picked up a Yarra Valley Pacing Cup on Serge Blanco. I was down there that day. What a thrill! And your year would have been pretty well topped up.
Yeah, my year's been really good. Can't complain at all. Probably had the best year I've had. So yeah, it's been unreal.
Fantastic. We might get started with the burning questions. Our first sponsor is Pride's Easy Feed. Pride's Easy Feed stands as a proud sponsor of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give their trainers confidence in what they're feeding. So make sure you make the switch to Pride's and get started getting the results you have been chasing. I know Tim sort of started this in a bit of a funny way at times, but he also asked someone what their favourite fruit was. And I don't think we'll be going with that one today, but I also like to know when you go to a barbecue or someone's party and they've got the box of favourites out, which one are you picking? We'll start with you, Jack, and we'll sort of work our way back.
I don't know what's in favourites, but
you strike me as a Turkish delight man. I'll just say that off the top. You strike me as a Turkish delight man.
Yeah, I will eat them if they're like the last three in the box, but yeah. I don't know. I was going to say peppermint, but I think they're roses.
Yeah. I think there might be a branding conflict with that one as well. So
yeah, there could be. I like a flake.
Yeah, you know, a flake you can't actually put in the microwave; it won't melt. You know that.
It won't melt.
No, it won't melt in the microwave. That's a bit of a fun fact for you. Ryan, we might throw it off to you. What are you picking out of the box of favourites?
I'd probably get the white chocolate, I reckon. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, the dream. That's always a good option. Cody, yourself?
Mine's the caramel one, and probably Boost. Anything with caramel in it.
Yeah, nice. That's a great way to take it out. And you, Shannon, to top us off?
Yeah, I'll probably agree with Cody. I'm with the caramel one or caramel now too as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. I remember when the caramel first came out, very hard to get your hands on. It was getting sold out, but now you can probably buy 50 and there's heaps of them. But yeah, so that sort of takes us out of that first question, sort of makes it a bit easier. We'll kick off on another one, which is Sulky app. Combining the power of results and horse sectionals with Sulky app, you now have access to gate speed, swooper, ability, behavior ratings. Never miss a trainer, driver, or gear change again. Sulky app is a form guide revolution. Sign up at sulky.app. We've obviously come to the Young Gun series, which will be featuring at Melton Entertainment Park on New Year's Eve. I just want to know your moment in your guys' lives when you thought, yep, I want to be a harness racing driver and I really want to follow this passion. Might start with you, Ryan. And when did you sort of realise this was your dream and something you wanted to pursue?
Probably when we moved to Sydney and we had a horse that was winning a couple of the weaker country cups and just going around and to the different tracks and winning a country cup seemed pretty cool. So that probably was the time where I got most interested in pursuing the harness racing career.
Yeah, what about you, Cody? When did you sort of find out this might be what I want to do in life?
When I was a kid, pretty young, I had a really good mini trotter and just loved it. So I always wanted to race the big horses and just probably when I was pretty young.
Yeah, and yourself, Jack, when did you sort of realise that magic moment, I suppose?
I wasn't really sort of overly involved with like my parents' horses until sort of like later in high school, when Mum made me get outside and do the waters and pick up the shits and that. So I don't know. I started following my parents' horses a bit more closely. Once I started doing that, and just gradually sort of worked into it, and till I thought, maybe I could have a steer of them myself. So just worked into it that way.
Yeah, I might throw it over to you, Shannon, and I can sort of see the pictures behind you, and it's obviously the great man, Jim's horses there. But when did you was it so easy for you to pick that you wanted to be a harness racing driver because of your dad's influence?
Funny enough, no. I'm a bit like Jack. I had other hobbies outside of the horses. I enjoyed school and sports, and it probably wasn't until we moved from Queensland down back to Victoria and we were able to get a pony trotter and be involved in the pony trots. So sort of from there, being able to look after the pony, I got into it and got quite keen and wanted to sort of make it as a job. But I wasn't really interested in horses, to be fair. I was a bit scared of them. I'm small, so I thought I was going to get stepped on or hurt. So yeah, once I got older, I got over that fear and jumped into it.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, and I suppose it all sort of links into our next question here, but who was your biggest inspiration? Who sort of gave you that drive? I think behind everyone there's sort of a drive and a factor, I suppose, that someone needs to push you along the way. Who was yours, Jack? We might start with you on that one.
Probably my parents, mainly. When I started driving, like in Tassie, I probably looked up to someone like Gareth Rattray or Rowan Hillier, they were sort of the leading drivers at that time. So obviously learned a fair bit off them, and mainly probably them two people and my parents.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan? Was it as easy as that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, both my parents and there's a lot of great drivers to look up to. Mainly mum and dad.
Yeah, was it easy? Did Dad just say, "I've got a couple of horses, I need a driver, I got a son, let's shake some hands and see what we can do"?
Yeah, well, he pretty much left it up to me to see if I wanted to do it, and when I wanted to do it, he gave me full support.
And for yourself, Cody, is it a similar situation?
Kind of. It was more family friends, Peter and Kathy Carson. They had a major role when I was younger. I was just always out at their place at the stables. My mum actually didn't know that I got a pony and was racing them. She sort of found out a bit later. It was a bit of a surprise. She didn't really want me to do it as much as everyone else, but they were massive in my role of wanting to do it.
Yeah, and I suppose for you, Shannon, it's like having Dustin Martin teach you how to kick. And I'm a Richmond supporter, and none of you have picked Richmond as your favourite teams as well. I think we've got the Storm, the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Pies. So I was this close to pulling this in when no one said Richmond. But was it a bit like that for you, Shannon? That was just your dad just sort of helped you, and I suppose if you went into Dominion and things like that, it sort of helps your path a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. He's probably been my biggest influence, but also my biggest critic too, which I enjoy. He's great to have around and ask advice. But yeah, he's been the most influential person in my career so far. But I had a few other people that I looked up to when starting out. I think Natalie Rasmussen was my first one to. I had her over sort of Karen and Kate and all those because growing up in Queensland, those are the sort of people I looked up to. And yeah, she was winning everything with Inter Dominion and Blacks Are Fake. So just to see a female do it at the top level, she was one I looked up to as well.
Sort of moving on from that, I know when you first start, you get your first drive. But what about when you first win, when you first cross that line first? Ryan, I suppose when you crossed it, bit of double cobras or sort of, the finger wave or something like that. What happened when you crossed the line first, Ryan? And do you remember that day?
So what was that? Sorry.
Your first to win. I just want to know. Talk us through that a little bit. The horse, where it was, and how did you celebrate?
Yeah, it was old champ Don Boston at Newcastle. We took him from an angle, and Dad had a few other horses, and I was lucky enough to snag a win on Don Boston.
Yeah. What about you, Jack? I feel like you'd be a finger guns man, wouldn't you, as you cross the line?
Nah. My first winner was on a horse my dad trained called, put him back. He's a bit of a family favourite sort of thing. Yeah, he was my first trial drive and my first winner at the races. So he's been a close horse to my heart, and yeah, the whole family, that they love him. So he's still out at home. He's about, I don't know, 14, 15. He's out in the paddock with the babies now, so he teaches them what to do. But he was my first winner.
Yeah. What about you, Cody? Do you remember the day vividly?
Yeah, it was my first drive, and it was a free legger. So there was a fair bit of pressure on, but it was for some really good family friends, Daniel Allen, Kristen Cunningham. They were pretty confident, but they didn't tell me, thank God, because I probably would have panicked. I actually drove it probably a bit harder than it's used to, but it still managed to win, so it was good.
And what about you, Shannon? Was it just you told your dad and he's like, when you get another 860, let me know, or something like that, when you got your first win?
Well, I got suspended, so I don't know if it was a foreshadowing of like me getting in trouble a fair bit. But it was on a horse called Shogun Thomas for the Pangrosio family. And yeah, he was a super horse. He ended up being a cup horse and actually gave me probably I think my first pacing cup drive. So yeah, he was a good old trier, and I think he's retired and now a show pony for someone.
Might just open this one up to the forum, but did anyone sort of celebrate? Like, I want to see someone. I saw John Calder last week knock up 4,000 and just went, yeah, cool. But did anyone celebrate, or did anyone sort of do anything, or was it just cool, calm, and collected?
Well, technically, I had a 10-day holiday, so okay. I was out somewhere doing something.
Yeah, 10-day holiday. That sounds like a great winning thing. What about you, Jack? I feel like you would have done something. Nothing.
Nah, nothing.
Nah.
Nah.
Just real cool about it.
Yeah, I was just happy to win a race. Yeah, I wasn't that. I was excited, but yeah,
Nothing overly attached. I reckon I've told this people before, but I got a piece of paper in the bin once in school from a fair distance away, and I reckon I celebrated more than John Calder when he got 4,000 wins. But that's just a silly story. Might lock up our last sponsor, but it's Logical Staffing Solutions. So Logical Staffing Solution provides labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehouse, automotive, and manufacturing industries. Logical solutions for your staffing needs. Going on to our next question, I just want to talk, because all of you talked a lot about your families and them having a really big impact in your careers and getting you to where you are at the moment. What's the biggest lessons that you guys have learned from sort of driving that also you take into your lives, or sort of lessons that they've sort of taught you, I suppose, that you use in races and that you sort of make, you make mistakes and you get things right. But what do you sort of learn? Ryan, we might start with you on that one.
Basically just to work hard and learn from all your mistakes and try and make your own luck by working hard. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, what about you, Jack? Do you sort of have a similar philosophy on that?
Yeah, pretty similar to Ryan. Yeah, if you can come off the track and know what you've done wrong without having to watch a replay, then you're probably like moving in the right direction. But yeah, you just, I guess I won't always admit what mistakes I've made, but in the back of my mind, I know.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to try and learn from your mistakes when you have to admit that you made a mistake to begin with, and then try and learn from it. And I still make so many mistakes, so learning from them is harder for me than some people probably. But yeah, in the back of my mind, I do know when I've done it. But
yeah.
And the other thing is, as Ryan said too, you only get out of it what you put into it. So the harder you work, and I guess when you're starting out, the more form you do, and the more time you put into things, the better you'll get quicker.
Yeah, just sort of throwing that back at you a little bit. How do you sort of said that you sort of keep it in your mind? How do you sort of have that memory of a goldfish to go, next time I'm not going to be thinking about what I did wrong, I can start it sort of afresh, I suppose?
Oh, I don't know. You just do, like something little will happen, and you just remember. Like, I don't know. I can probably tell Ryan about a horse he posted me on at Mildura 2 years ago. I don't know if he brought the name up, I'd be able to tell him. So you just always remember.
Do you know return serve on that, Ryan?
I've posted a few times, so
Sorry, what was that? I missed that.
I posted Jack a few times at Mildura, so
Yeah. obviously hasn't thought about it that much, so that's good that he's been able to sort of clear that one. Cody, for you, what is sort of those biggest learnings and those things that you sort of take out of harness into your lives, and this, next time you go back into the sulky, you sort of think, okay, cool, I made those mistakes, but I can learn from them.
Yeah, pretty much the same as what Jack and Ryan said. You got to work hard to get like good results, and you sort of get what you put into it. And you got to try and not get yourself down off a bad drive. You got to think about it and realize what you've done, but don't hold it and don't get worked up over it. Sort of move on to the next one and drive that horse like it's nothing went wrong before. So yeah, you sort of just got to try and keep your mind a little bit clear.
Yeah, and yourself, Shannon, or is it sort of as easy as that, or is it just do you learn from the best, I suppose?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like hard work beats talent any day of the week. And a lot of us are all hard workers, and it sort of shows with what we're able to do on the track. But I think the biggest thing is patience. Like Rome wasn't built in a day, so it's sort of just take your time with things, and things will come your way when it's meant to, and not rush. And one big thing too is remember to count to 10 on the track before you make a move. That's probably a big thing I've taken into consideration too.
I want to throw this one over to Ryan and Shannon, but you've obviously, your dads have been in it, and then you've obviously with you, Ryan, Dad Shane trains some of the drives that you get. How does he sort of separate that, and what sort of criticism or feedback does he give you after that, where he's sort of your dad and then he's also the trainer of the horse?
Yeah, he's always given me advice if I've gone wrong, and generally I admit to it. But it seems to work pretty good, and I'm pretty hard on myself if I've driven a bad race, and Dad knows that. So, but if he says something, I try to listen the best I can.
And yourself, Shannon, is it the same sort of thing? He goes, well, when I went in Yankee Lock in '91 or something, I did this and I had to make this decision. Is it sort of a similar situation where he gives you such great advice, but he also plays that dad role as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's probably a little bit harder on me too, just being in that aspect as well, that I think he obviously sees a lot in you that I really don't see. But he's the hardest critic, and we're both really stubborn, so it sort of takes a little bit to get into my head a little bit, but I understand what he's trying to say, and it soaks in eventually, and we have a discussion when the time's ready. But no, he's pretty good. He's pretty easy to drive for. He doesn't really give me too many instructions, and he's pretty cruisy.
What about you, Jack? Do you sort of get any advice from mum and dad and the family, and they sort of say, well, I would have done it this way, or sort of a different sort of leaf over there?
No, not really. My mum thinks the sun shines out of my ass, so she'll never tell me when I've done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And neither will the old man. So yeah, early stages, they used to point me in the right direction, but I don't get a lot of feedback off them now.
Yeah, that'll be burning questions up late if anyone wants to tune in. But Cody, what about yourself? Do you sort of get any sort of feedback from mum and dad?
No. They're happy just to watch it and have a few little bets, but that's all they do.
Yeah, fantastic, guys. And you've done so much in your careers and things like that, and you've sort of chased these goals and these dreams and stuff. What's next, Ryan? I know you've just come back from France and you're still sort of finding your Australian legs, I suppose, but what's the goal? What's the dreams ahead for you?
I guess the dream's always to win a Group 1. I haven't been able to get one yet, so I'll probably keep pushing to win a Group 1, and Dad's team is going pretty good, so hopefully we can win a good race with one of Dad's.
Yeah, what about you, Jack? Where do you sort of see yourself in, say, 5-10 years' time?
That's a good question. I don't know, just keep on doing the same. That'll do. Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have I? If I'm going the same as I am now, I'll be happy with that. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Yeah. Are you guys happy with where you currently sit, Cody? Like, if you were to sort of keep this path going, are you sort of happy where you're sitting, putting up Trotters Cups and country cups and things?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far, especially towards the end of the year. It's been an unreal run I'm having.
Yeah. And yourself, Shannon, do you sort of see yourself where do you sort of see yourself in 10 years time? I know you're going to take my job really quickly because it's probably the first time where a guest has been more famous than the host, but because you feature on Trots Rhythm quite often. But yourself, Shannon, where do you sort of see yourself?
I really have no clue. Hopefully retired somewhere on a beach, if I'm fortunate and lucky and win the lottery or something like that. But I'm not too sure. I think I'd love to still travel and work for other stables. I think just gaining a bit of knowledge in that area. Might try training or so, but hoping to go overseas and work for a big stable. I think that'd be exciting.
I might sort of finish with one a bit off the cuff here, guys, but what would someone, like, say, if your friends from school or something didn't know anything about harness driving and things like that, heading into this Garrard Horse and Hound Young Gun Series, what would something that you would like people to know about harness driving that they would not know? Start with you, Ryan, on that one. Just something a bit different.
Well, I'm not too sure. I remember saying in school, they asked me what I wanted to be, and I said I wanted to be a harness racing driver, and they laughed and they said jockey for a riding. They didn't know too much of it. Harness.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just anyone can really, if you're around horses long enough, it's really easy to just jump on the bike and go for a ride, and I think a lot of people can be able to do something in the sport like that, and because it's that easy. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Cody, what would you sort of say to people at school who sort of bring up that, as Ryan said, the jockey sort of mentality? I suppose that's the main thing, but what would you sort of say to those sort of people?
Horses aren't as scary as they look. All my friends are petrified of horses, so they're not much of a fan of it, but a few have come to the trots and then they love it. So just sort of get out there, go to the trots, and you might actually enjoy it.
Yeah, what about yourself, Shannon? Was it just easy growing up because everyone would have known your dad and things like that?
If not, it was a little bit harder, but one thing I think is horses are sometimes better than people. They're pretty kind animals, so they're awesome to have around. So pretty much all I could say.
Yeah, fantastic. And Jack, have you got a final word to sort of end us off on that topic? What would sort of your school friends say and things like that? I know what your mum would say, but I don't really want to hear that. But what would your school friends say?
I don't really know. I can't. Yeah, I'm not sure. When I was in high school, I can't repeat what they said about horses.
Yeah, no, that's good. Good that you've kept that one on the seven. Maybe just
as Ryan said, it is a very inclusive sport. So if you're no good at being a jockey, you can do harness driving.
Talk us through it, Jack. Final one. I know I'm peppering you here, but say you're out there and there's something that only drivers would know. What would that be? Give us a burning questions exclusive here, Jack. What would only drivers know out there?
James Everton's the tightest bloke in harness racing.
I wanted a scoop and I've got it. Thank you, guys. You've been fantastic today on my first episode of Burning Questions as the host. This has been brilliant. I wish you all the best for the Garrards Horse and Hound Young Guns series, which will kick off on New Year's Eve at Melton Entertainment Park. This is our final episode of Burning Questions for 2023. I'd like to wish all our participants, our fans, our drivers, our trainers, everyone involved in the harness racing community a very, very happy new year, a safe new year. Look after each other and be kind to one another. Thank you. This has been another episode of Burning Questions, and we'll see you in the new year.